Hello. In this opportunity, I'm going to explain or present two documents. We're gonna present two documents uh, according to the instruction given in the platform. Right. Our group consisting two people, Maylin Guerrero, Maylin Natalie Guerrero Moreno, and I, Christian Aristides Lazo Ventura. Right. First, I'm going to present my document that I translated, and then I'm going to explain something about the techniques or tools that use it to translate or to make this translation. First, um, the document that I did translate, was the position. The position. If you can see, if you can see, this is the document uh, that I did translate. If you can see, um, to the other position is like for the camera on my phone, right? This is the original document. First, I'm gonna read a fragment. This fragment, the in original idiom, in original language, in Spanish. Next to, uh, then I'm gonna read the translated way, the translated document. Okay, for this document says Fiscalía General de la República. Número de referencia 622 UST-SM-4-2014. Señor Juez Primero de Paz, Ciudad. Claribel Marisol Flores Molina, mayor de edad, de domicilio de la ciudad de San Miguel, actuando en calidad de agente auxiliar del Fiscal General de la República y dentro de las facultades que confieren en los artículos 193, número 3, 74, 768, 294, 295 y en ese I1 332, formulario el presente requerimiento de inscripción formal con la aplicación de medidas sustitutivas a la detención provisional en contra del imputado detenido Mario Ernesto Carlos Chicas por atribuírsele la comisión de delito de amenazas previsto y sancionado en el artículo 154 del Código Penal en prejuicio del señor Carlos Eduardo Vanegas Ávila, de conformidad a los siguientes considerados. Okay, this is the original document in Spanish, right? I'm going to read uh, the translate document. This same fragment, this is this part the same, but in English. And the document in English I have it this way. This document in this part, right? This part you can see, okay? If you can see in English, I'm gonna read for to you for to understand this part, right? This part says, I'm so sorry, but I need to show this document in this way. General of Fiscalía General de la República, Lord First Judge of Peace City, Claribel Marisol Flores Molina, of each of the domicile of the city of San Miguel, acting as auxiliary agent of the Attorney General of the Republic, and within the powers conferred upon me my art, 193 number 3, 74 to 68, uh, 4, need and 1 and 332 and formulate this request for formal instruction with application of substitutive measures to the provisional detention against the detained um, accused Mario Ernesto Claus Chicas for being attributed the the commission of the crime of the threats for reason and sanctioned in art 154 and of the penal code to the treatment of Mr. Carlos Eduardo Vanegas Avila in accordance with the following considerations. Okay, this fragment or this part is the same part that I read previously. Um, this this document at moment to translate, at moment to make it translate, um, I have some difficult because there are parts, these parts, there are words. Um, uh, it are difficult to translate at language word in this case to English language because we have to use at moment to translate any document or audio or um, trans- transcript or a video, I don't know, something like this. We have to use some techniques or to forms some words, some forms to translate or to make this translate. For example, in this case I use site translate. There are two forms or two techniques for to make a translation. The first is oblique translate and the second is um, site translate. I use in this case more site translate because for me is more useful at moment to translate any document or audio or something like this, right? Why? Because in this form, site translate, we have I can scan the document, make a mental note, and scan the passage quickly and identify key future commas or parentheses or etc. Translate the sentence by sentence. Um, Next to I'm going to explain how to make this aspect. First, scan the documents. It's very important identify the context, style, and country of origin of this document, in this case El Salvador. At moment to make at moment to make any translations or interpretations, we have to identify the context because according to the context you gonna make or you're gonna use the correct word, and if you don't have the words or technical words, you have to make use to the tools and the websites. I don't know. Make a mental note. Make a mental note if you is very useful because uh, it's like a resource, like a source for language. Scan the passage quickly or translate sentence by sentence is like a you have to translate literally way the sentence. Um, for example, if you have a statement or paragraph, you have to use some tools for to create. However, I use uh, some aspect or some techniques from oblique translate. For example, comparison um, is the most common technique for to use to translate, but the context is the main aspect to use. Now, the the tools that I use in this case was just tools is pros.com. In pros.com and sometimes I write down in these in these tools in this website, and this website pass to the other language for to have a good idea, like how to use make or how to use write this phrase, this statement, and that's all about this document. I hope that you understand. I hope that um, I explain you very good. I am too clear at the moment to explaining it is this document. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maylin Guerrero, and in this opportunity, I'm going to explain the translation of the income tax return document. So, I'm going to start by presenting the original, which is this one that appears on the screen. Uh, it is a pretty short document, but it is kind of complicated because it contains many boxes, many lines, and etc. And this one is the translated one. Okay, so I'm going to explain some techniques I use or implemented to translate this document. Among the direct techniques, I only use two of them. And the techniques I used most was literal translation techniques. I'm going to explain first some literal translation. The first one is this phrase that appears here in the upper side, Department of the Treasury, and it is literally translated to Departamento de la Hacienda Pública. I researched in Google and I found that Treasury is translated as Hacienda Pública, la Hacienda Pública. So I'm going to move up to the next example of literal translation, which is a, a sentence, right here. Someone can claim your spouse as a dependent. And I literally translate that sentence to alguien puede reclamar su esposo como dependiente. As you see, it is the same structure that is used. The next one is, it's a pretty short sentence and easy. You are blind. You are blind right here. You are blind is translated to es ciego o usted es ciego. Then the last one is a very formal sentence or phrase. Under penalties of perjury. Under penalties of perjury. And I have translated to this bajo la pena de perjuicio. Perjurio, perdón. Perjurio. Bajo la pena de perjurio. So I found, or at least I consider that I found, a phrase that I consider as a calque. And this is, in English, it is, sorry, in English is social, here it is, social security number. And I have translated to número de seguridad social. So I'm going to move on to the next type of translation, which is obligate techniques. Oh, sorry. See, obligate techniques. So I'm going to explain some techniques. Obligate techniques I implemented. The first one is modulation. I found a phrase that is in English in this document that is not that is expressed in another way in Spanish. Where it is? Let me. Okay, here. This is the phrase dual estatus alien. So in Spanish, it says era extranjero. Bueno, extranjero con doble estatus. Extranjero con doble estatus. Okay, and transposition is another technique. Well, there were many ways that I use this technique, transposition. As we know, the order of the word changes in English, in Spanish, and most of the time, most of the cases I found where the the adjective that describes the noun changed its position. The first one is right here, a standard deduction. And I change it to deducción estándar. So in English it's a standard deduction, the standard, which is the subject goes first, and then the deduction or deducción, que is the name, and it goes in the last position. But in Spanish is different. Primero está deducción y luego estándar. And another example of transposition is zip code. I found this one. Zip code is but I'm going to show you in the original document. So zip code is right here. Zip code. In this case, zip is the adjective and code is a noun. And I change it to código postal. Código postal, zip code, código postal. Okay, then the next one is, and the last one is foreign address. Foreign address. Aquí, here, foreign address. And in Spanish it is dirección en el extranjero. In the process of translating these documents, I found many technical words. I'm just going to explain 3 of them. The first one is this one, which appear here, Mary feeling jointly, and the second one, Mary feeling separately, and the third one I'm going to talk about is preparer. I also found this word firm, which is another word to say company. So Mary feeling jointly is casado que presenta una declaración conjunta, and Mary feeling separately is casado que presenta una declaración separada. And preparer, as I mentioned, is the person in charge of prepare these documents. So those were the technical words I learned. Among the tools I use to translate these documents are Collins Dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary. I also use Merriam-Webster, and as I said, I search on Google Bar to look for the meaning of some abbreviations, and the others abbreviations I found it on Cambridge Dictionary or Collins Dictionary. Okay, now I'm going to explain some things that were difficult for me at the moment to translate this document. And the first thing was that um, the first thing that was difficult because there were a lot of these things that is try to translate abbreviations, and as I as sometimes it can be confused. Sometimes you can find the one that is not correct, so you have to be sure what is the correct meaning for those abbreviations. So that's one of the things difficult for me because there are a lot of this type of abbreviation in this document, as I have here PTIN. So I needed to find what is the long way to say that, and the translated to Spanish. So the next thing that was difficult at the moment to translate this document, as you see, there are many boxes, there are many lines, and sometimes if you write too much, or if you uh, don't if you are not careful at the moment to type it, so it can get distorted, and it makes you waste a lot of time. So those were some of the things difficult for me, and I I really enjoyed this activity because I could learn many words that I didn't know. I could learn many technical words like marry, filing jointly. For me, that is a technical word. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know the meaning of that. So, but now after translating this document, it is easier to identify its correct meaning. So I really like this activity for that reason, because I increase my knowledge, and now I am much I have more vocabulary. So that was uh, all my participation, and thank you.